It may sound like the stuff out of movies, but an asteroid hurtling towards the Earth is something real-life scientists are preparing for at NASA. They're refining the plan because in a few short years, a space rock could come quite close.
We live in a world that is changing profoundly and fast, and that is facing threats that seem apocalyptic to us.
2,000 years ago, Jesus told his disciples what the world would look like at the end of the age. He mentioned wars, rumors of wars, that lead many to believe we are living in those end times.
For centuries, we've been living comfortably, but it looks like our run is finally over. All around the world, we're seeing things that signal devastation, but only some know what they mean. From mysterious figures taking over the skies to unusual apparitions, watch as we reveal the signs to the end of the world. It's not a good day when you see the sun engulfed by flames. That's right, not even its own. While the sun is usually known to itself be the ball of fire, or if you're science-y, a ball of gases, to see it encircled by something that looks far more hellish. I don't know what's up, but it looks like there's something wrong.
Boys, I wasn't sure if this was an issue, so I thought it'd be kind.
Whoa! Did you see the sun just literally explode? Okay, since we can practically see the sun shining right now, we know this wasn't the sun itself. And so, we've got two theories. One, this is some other star, and we've seen something inexplicable. Or two, this is edited. Either way, it isn't as pretty a picture as imagined.
What do you think? Should I alert the local authorities?
Asteroid Armageddon.
It may sound like the stuff out of movies, but an asteroid hurtling towards the Earth is something real-life scientists are preparing for at NASA.
We think we've prepared for everything, but you might want to pull out all the stops, because we're closer to Armageddon than ever. Recently, NASA has alerted the presence of a massive asteroid, which is hurtling toward the Earth. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about it now, but it is expected to hit the Earth a couple of years down the lane. Our solution? Since the Earth can't be magically pivoted away, NASA is trying to figure a way out. But more and more people are beginning to believe this giant asteroid is one big sign of doom, and that we'll all probably be wiped away like the dinosaurs.
This thing would wipe out a city, no problem. But fortunately, just luck, it's not gonna hit us.
Nephilim's reign. Nephilim. We've heard a lot about them, but for the most part, we've been convinced they aren't coming anytime soon. And yet, there are signs all around us. The echoing of something terrifying.
What is that, man?
A sound you'd think was natural, but is eerily similar to the trumpets promised to sound just when the world is coming to an end. Just take it in. Hear how terrifying it is. Even if it's not the same trumpets, what on earth is causing this sound? I bet the people around were terrified to the bone.
What is that, man? Crazy.
Hell's Gate.
Dude, those rocks are glowing red.
We've joked about hell being under our feet, but what if it really is? Yeah, something like that isn't possible.
There's a fire inside the rocks.
Well, found by a hiker in the middle of a forest, this doorway to hell looks like exactly what you'd expect from the demonic place in the first place. And I know it's pretty common for gas to accumulate in such places and burn, but the hiker who found this confirmed there were no exit points for the gas, which means it couldn't have been burnt from the outside. So, where did the fire come from? That's something we're all wondering. Alien steps. You know you're in deep trouble when you see the sky taken over by something like this. While we've been focusing a bit too much on what's yet to come, we've forgotten to see what's right in front of us. I imagine creatures and anomalies like this take over our skies frequently, but because we're so preoccupied with life, we rarely realize what's going on. Some say this is the sign of an impending alien invasion. Others think it's just a silly trick. But you know what I think? Even if just a humorous attempt, It shows us that there's a lot we don't know about the world. The Chained Souls. In 2022, the Euphrates River rocked the world when it came eerily close to fulfilling a prophecy. Now I know talking about religion is, well, not most people's cup of tea, but let's forget about that. Let's just focus on one big prophecy most people around the world have heard of. That's right, the Euphrates River drying up and eventually revealing 4 fallen angels bound under the river. And now we're seeing it happen in real life. If the Euphrates' sudden drying up wasn't terrifying enough, just hear this. Yep, angels or not, whatever's lying under there is eager to come out. As for us, we'd better prepare. Sensational. We think the world we live in as our own. But if you focus just a bit, you'll realize things aren't what they seem like. Although we're used to seeing one sun, imagine 2 of them. Sounds pretty confusing, but this happened somewhere over a lake in the United States. Now, I know some of you will argue it's just a reflection, but the people close by swore up and down that they really did see 2 suns. Here's the thing. As crazy as it sounds, it might be possible. Perhaps the second sun we're seeing is really some type of portal to another dimension. What do you think? Chinese divinity. If you think angels are just a myth, you might want to see this. Seen 4 years ago just over a foggy city in China, 3 massive winged figures took shelter behind the clouds. As onlookers watched with excitement, and some with fear, the angelic figures stayed still. Many believe they were trying to stay under the clouds' protection so they wouldn't accidentally reveal themselves. There's an even crazier theory going around. Many believe this could be the start of Project Bluebeam, and considering how things are going around the world, it might not be too far off from the truth. Sandy drift. You think Mother Nature's just some kind of weird myth? Yeah, you might want to see what's going on here. Doesn't it look like the desert just suddenly sprouted feet and is off to another destination? Well, this really is sand taking itself on a tour. Now, it isn't theoretically something miraculous, mainly because sand can move like this, and I'm sure we can skip the science class here. What we don't get is how this sand river went on and on for miles. Yeah, it wasn't recorded like that, but apparently it went on for a long, long distance. And if that doesn't ring any alarm bells... A Turkish visitor. In January 2023, residents in Bursa, Turkey, found themselves facing a gigantic mystery in the sky. Tinged red with deep curves, the cloud-like object isn't what it seems like at all. While you and I can easily chalk it off to a meteorological phenomenon, many UFO enthusiasts around the world are wondering if this was just a misty cover for an alien spaceship. Since we've already gotten confirmation about alien life, we're now wondering if they've already started infiltrating our airspace and our lives. What makes this particular sky anomaly even scarier is how it's even spooked some meteorologists. Forager's nightmare.
And this one.
One mushroom forager's trip to a local jungle turned into a quick run back home. As he was happily picking out mushrooms and recording an informative video, he heard a loud scream.
Looks like it's holding some water. Huh?
Now, you and I both know being in a forest and hearing screams isn't that unusual. At the most, it would be something like a mountain lion, right? Now that's terrifying enough because nobody wants to run in with a man-eater like that. But that's not even the reason why this scream is scary. Although it begins with a very animalistic sound, at the end, it sounds unusually human. The forager's pretty sure this could be a scream by a tormented soul, some type of demon even.
I think it's time to go.
portal of oblivion. The very idea of the multiverse hinges on the possibility of other universes. While we've yet to scientifically prove it, we're seeing other scenarios that are doing the work. Now, as crazy as it sounds, there's an idea that a portal opening up in our world could be a doorway to a universe in another world. Sci-fi enough. But recently, the skies over Bulgaria were taken over by a blackish, portal-like object opening up. With a color like that, you can't even argue that this is the sun parting the clouds. This has to be a doorway, possibly opening up to other forms of life. Jesus' sign. If you're looking for a divine sign, look up to the sky and you might just find it. Just a couple of years ago, this appeared over the skies in Russia, shaped remarkably like Jesus. This light made local news because of what it implies. That is, the rapture is very much happening. Of course, it has its doubt. But if you ask me, seeing the light take that form is too big of a coincidence to ignore. Rapture or not, it's clearly signaling something. The spookiest part? This didn't just appear in one city, but multiple all over Russia. Now that's eerie. Crimson Lake. Imagine a lake turning red out of nowhere. If we were any smarter, we'd be sure this is the reckoning of the end of times. This happened in Russia, where an entire river turned red. As locals feared, they also wondered what was happening. While they were quick to grab their prayer beads and caps, experts tried to analyze what could have caused it. The river didn't sport any microorganisms that would have caused it. There wasn't even an industrial building nearby. Ultimately, they decided it was nothing but doom. Thankfully, nothing much has happened since. But it's just a ticking clock. A lush divinity. When a desert starts sporting icy floods, you know you're in deep trouble. This happened in Saudi Arabia, known for its arid lands. Just as residents decided to proceed with their day, they found themselves facing the unimaginable. Gallons and gallons of water rushing down the dry river, bringing with it nothing but confusion and panic. Why? Because to see something like one of the driest areas in the world suddenly become fertile enough suggests that Mother Nature isn't only just taking back what was hers, but the world is rapidly changing in unimaginable ways right in front of us. We're all just sitting ducks. The prophecies return. For the past few lifetimes, we've done a lot of damage to the Earth. Some so severe that certain areas were barren for centuries. But now, Mother Nature is coming back with a vengeance. As unexpected rains took to Saudi Arabia, the nation once known for its barren land began to turn green. Grass sprouted from previously infertile sand, and the hills turned into lush feeding grounds for local cattle. But is this sight as pretty as it seems? Some think this greenery doesn't link to heaven, but implies something hellish. That's right, there's been a prophecy that states the lands of Arabia will turn green close to a time when the world would end. Yikes! Angels ablaze.
Really unusual. I've never ever seen anything like it.
I was like, wow. I mean, that is an angel.
The photos are exactly how they were taken.
One man's life took an unexpected turn when he realized there was an angelic figure keeping watch over him. We've all dreamt of that moment, to know you're being followed by an, in reality, guardian angel. But to see the proof? It's certainly a story to tell the grandkids. Caught by the camera mounted at Michigan's fire chief Glenn Thorman's home, an angelic figure stood over his truck. Moments later, the camera caught the silhouette fading away, suggesting the figure was only there to guard Glenn's truck. Glenn believes this guardian angel might be tagging along on his fiery rides to ensure he stays safe. And he's pretty content knowing he's being protected.
And everybody wants to believe in angels, so 72% say they do.
Demonic skies. You know the world is heading to doom when the sky finally tosses off its blue cloak and drapes an evil red one instead. Now, seeing this in the early morning would certainly ruin most people's days. But this isn't even the creepiest thing about the crimson sky. This didn't happen during the day, but at night, just when the sun had set and the moon was hiding somewhere. It adds a pretty terrifying layer to things now, doesn't it? Not to mention, there wasn't anything that could have caused it. Nothing like an industrial leak or anything. And it happened in multiple cities at the same time. Whew. Floating conundrum. Do you ever wonder if we're already living with aliens and that we've not just met them yet? I mean, if you see multiple UFOs taking flight, wouldn't that support the theory? Perhaps aliens have been consecutively visiting us for decades, and occasionally they'll fly back home to share whatever intel they've gathered. This happened a while ago in Louisiana, and it's naturally spread its fair share of fear and confusion. Those not in favor of the alien theory have their own. They believe these are the souls of the good ones, slowly being brought to heaven right before the world takes its final bow. A drying fate. While we've always known about global warming, we're seeing the effects of it in real time. All around the world, major rivers are drying up, and these include the infamous Jordan River, one of the world's most famous, not only for its fertility and beauty, but for historical significance. Seeing a historical gem like this drying up is concerning many, but some are wondering what it means for our future. You see, major rivers drying up means we'll soon be fighting over water, and if we don't get a grip soon and fix things up, we'll actively drive the world into a chaotic state. Unexpected savior. High above a cathedral in Italy, residents spotted a bizarre creature. Perched atop the very top dome, the creature was initially confused for a bird, but it soon became clear this wasn't your neighborhood raptor. Although it greatly resembled one, its slightly humanoid body and reptilian skin gave it away. Many are sure this could be a goblin, a grotesque creature you'd only expect from something as bizarre as Scooby-Doo. Locals who witnessed the scenario were sure this might have been a protective goblin, one who ensured the specific cathedral and whoever visited it would stay out of harm's way. Angelic silhouette. Who says divine beings aren't real? If you crane your neck a little bit and look up to the sky, you'll see such creatures are hiding in plain sight. As one resident in Tuscaloosa, Alabama looked out the window for an upcoming storm, they noticed odd figures moving behind the clouds. Initially thinking this was just something brewing from the storm, they focused, only to realize these are some sort of creatures with humanoid forms walking across the clouds as if they were hardwood floors. What do you think? Some sort of angels keeping an eye on us? Or evil beings ready to take over the world? A prophetic beginning. What you're seeing is literally a miracle. Don't take this as just an ordinary river flowing. This magically erupted in Saudi Arabia. That's right, the one place that's known for its barren and dry lands. Now, seeing a river like that erupt in the middle of a desert would bring tears of joy to anyone's face. But more and more people are terrified of what it implies. While it's a good thing, there have been multiple prophecies about the doomsday coinciding with the deserts turning lush. And besides that, people are wondering how this river suddenly sprouted. But they're all answerless. The golden route. Imagine fishing for gold. Sounds like a fever dream, but it's coming true for people living near the Euphrates River, which not only is dramatically drying up, but revealing a path of gold. More and more people are coming up with gold nuggets in their palms. But is this the happy news we think? Of course not! You see, while we're all tempted to fly out to the Euphrates in search of literal treasure, people aren't recommending it. Mainly because then everyone would rush out for the same purpose, and could topple things up in favor of civil unrest. Don't tempt me with a good time. Divine wrath. Let's be honest, if we heard this while we were sleeping, we'd wake up thinking we're entering World War III. The creepiest part is how nobody, not even the local government, was sure where this sound came from. Though it sounds remarkably similar to a mechanical siren, there wasn't anything that rang in the area when this happened, leading us to think this might have emerged out of nowhere. And if you've been following things up for the past couple of years, you know that hearing a mysterious sound like this in the middle of the night with no discernible source is a bad event waiting to take place. Wisdom Spectre. In this age and time, we've seen plenty of weird anomalies in the sky. For the most part, we've been able to explain why and how they happened. Like perhaps the wind took control, or maybe it's just space debris. But now, we're seeing something that might not have a logical explanation. To see a specter-shaped object mysteriously take to the skies is weird enough, but to realize it isn't descending, but ascending, puts things into perspective. People who saw this are pretty sure this is some sort of divine being rising to the skies, either for the sake of our protection, or its own. The Lost City of Nineveh. If you've been paying attention at all, you'd know the story of Nineveh, the home to the Assyrian Empire, which took a major falling centuries ago. For a long time, Nineveh, along with the glory of the Assyrian Empire, remained buried. But now, archaeologists in Iraq have taken it to themselves to restore it to its former glory. For these archaeologists, the idea to bring back Nineveh is to enhance tourism. But for most people around the world, the reappearance of Nineveh means knowing more and more about what the place was about, and how it means we're finally finding clues about things some might have been too critical to believe. Timber Doom. The earth all around us is hiding signs of life. Creatures we don't even think exist. But sometimes they slip up. When you're hiking in the snowy woods, you might hear proof that these creatures are lurking nearby.
Maybe it wasn't 2012, it was 2013.
Many think these are the sounds of angels, those who were perhaps perished to spend life on Earth. Others believe these are actually demonic wails, emitting from creatures suffering a hellish sentence somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Some are even convinced this is a sign that the rapture is coming. Whatever this actually is, you can't deny it's definitely something terrifying.
Oh yeah, that was loud. Alright.
Turkey Dance. Well, a sight like this would certainly keep you up at night. Turkeys don't usually act out like this, and when they do, it usually means something sinister. You see, when turkeys get stuck in a loop like this, there's a chance they won't be able to stop. That puts their lives in a lot of danger. But why are we even debating this? What's so concerning about it? Well, turkeys rarely do this, and if they do, it happens around food. Seeing it happen around a tombstone that's a number of years old suggests there's something there that we can't see, but the turkeys can. The Zombie Apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse. Though it's something we've all heard about, talked about, and imagined for decades, thanks to countless Hollywood movies, we've never really found ourselves against a threat like that, right? Well, just recently, somewhere in the Middle East, a security camera captured a man who's walking exactly like one. For the first glance, you could have argued the guy probably had just way too much to drink. But this isn't a guy walking like he lost his gait. He's walking like he lost his life and has come back to it. And if we're being honest, with the tumultuous state we're all in, is a zombie apocalypse really that unreachable? I don't think so. The Devil's Glare. Meet Aitken Lake, known in China as Devil's Eye. From above, it really does look like Satan's giving you the stink eye. Jokes aside, Aitken Lake's nickname doesn't just come up from anywhere. It gets its putrid fumes and rich red color thanks to an intense accumulation of sulfur. But people are sure its appearance isn't just a coincidence. Many believe the lake's unique appearance is sort of a divine projection. Perhaps it's a way for divine entities to keep an eye on Earth. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a clue, something that hints to Mother Nature being more than just a concept. Mysterious Scripture. The weather's perfect, just perfect for something ominous to emerge from the shadows and take control. Spotted by a couple of kids when a storm was brewing, this figure stretched over the skyline. Its eyes glowing bright, the creature seemed to be using the clouds and the surrounding fog as a cover to hide itself. And that's when you realize the creature was keeping a watchful eye over the area as well, prompting rumors about it being some sort of evil entity that was hoping to take over, but for some reason didn't. Thoughts? Silver lining. You know how some people believe the weather might be manipulated? Well, what if there is something pulling the strings behind the clouds, but it's a figure we'd all learn to fear? This happened in Israel a while ago, and it clearly shows that there's some sort of soul trapped in the clouds. Maybe it's one that can control the climate, or maybe it's one that's been sentenced to an unforgivable punishment. Whatever the case, something rising up like this in the sky, when you know how rocky things have been going, has to be the sign of something evil. Angel's Landing. You're probably wondering why these people are freaking out so much. Well, in a few short seconds, you'll find out why. Yep, as the people rushed outside and started freaking out, we realized their panic didn't just appear out of thin air. They're actively seeing a being, one blessed with the power of flight, quickly make a getaway to the upper realm. Even if you think this is just a human, what person can fly? It's certainly making no sense. Most of the onlookers are sure this is an angel, one that had possibly popped up on Earth to keep an eye and is now returning, which means we're all on our own to fend for ourselves. Cloaked Spirit. A few months ago, citizens of multiple cities across South Asia reported seeing a hooded figure in the sky. Masked with clouds, the figure eerily resembled the Buddha, down to the hand up in peace. After seeing the sight, many were sure this was an awakening of some sort. Perhaps Buddha's spirit decided to show itself. Naturally, seeing this prompted many to freak out, while a few were feeling honored. But you see, a spiritual awakening isn't all that peaceful. What if we're about to head into doom and this is just a way to convey that we need a figure that angelic in the future? Oman's End. It's not only Saudi Arabia that's suddenly welcoming fertility. Recently, an entire barren valley not only became irrigated by the sudden influx of water, but literally flooded itself. This happened so suddenly and unexpectedly, even the locals were feeling overwhelmed. To them, the dry valley flooding with water is a sign to the end of the times. Especially since multiple prophecies do theorize the end of the world won't begin until high places fill themselves with water and the wilderness becomes pools. Well, seeing as we're headed there, this might be the time to take life seriously, because if prophecies are coming true, who knows what else is in store for us. The Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant. It might just be one of the most important historical objects ever. It's safe to say that most of the world has been keeping an eye out for its reveal, mostly because of its religious significance, and some out of sheer inspiration. While it hasn't been found yet, some Turkish researchers just unearthed this from Jerusalem. The shape itself, even though it's entirely encrusted in mud, does suggest that it could be the Ark of the Covenant. But naturally, there's been a lot of skepticism as well. Mainly because opening up the Ark of the Covenant could be life-ending. And also because if it really is found, we're in deep, deep trouble. Euphrates reveal. While the location of the Ark of the Covenant has never been confirmed, the most believed theory is that it might have been buried in a cave somewhere. While archaeologists have been unsuccessfully on the lookout for decades, a recent video is now suggesting it might have been found, just inside a cave that revealed itself after the Euphrates started drying up. Sounds pretty on theme for an object like that now, doesn't it? Archaeologists have yet to look deeper and find something that's confirmed to be the Ark of the Covenant. But even they're pretty sure a spot like this could only mean one thing. We're inching closer and closer to the inevitable. Moses and the Covenant. Well, things are certainly taking a weird turn. Recently, someone unearthed a tomb, one that's believed to belong to the prophet Moses. Now you, much like myself, are wondering if it really is, well, Moses' tomb. The truth is, we don't know for sure. But even if it is, there's some other significance to it beyond just being Moses' tomb. You see, many believe that the Ark of the Covenant might have been buried with Moses' tomb. Since the location for either is unknown, many are wondering if finding Moses' tomb will actually lead them to the Ark of the Covenant. Well, I think we'll be finding out in a couple of days. Finding Nemo. You know the world is screwed when you start seeing an entire river composed of flopping fish slowly traversing through a dry desert. Once more, we're seeing the impossible come to life as a massive horde of fish startedly making its way into the desert in Saudi Arabia. I'm sure you're all wondering how it's even physically possible for the fish to move like this. Well, it looks surreal, but it is. Apparently, when water bodies move, they can bring along a flurry of fish with them. But the thing is, what would prompt an entire river to suddenly form a tributary in the middle of the desert? No idea, except that it might mean something terrifying. Unexpected creature. A group of locals had gathered around to witness the eclipse together, but got something a lot more than that. Watching the sun cloaked behind the clouds, suddenly something strange zipped past behind the clouds, looking eerily similar to a dark shadow. The fact that everyone in the crowd spotted the same thing made the incident all the more genuine. The clip spread like wildfire on the internet as everyone tried to figure out its identity. With no satisfactory explanation, people turned to the experts, but until now, there's been no word on the bizarre sighting. Crescent shadow.
I've never seen it before.
While witnessing the eclipse a month ago in their backyard, this family noticed a very strange sight. On the ground, the tree leaves cast a crescent-shaped shadow, and it looked exactly like the eclipsed sun. The dark shadow of the sun being covered by the moon, rimmed with a bright circle. Well, that's one cool phenomenon. But there's another one, called the shadow bands, a strange apparition of alternating black and white lights right before and after totality. The phenomenon is only visible on a plane object, and it's something experts are still struggling to explain. Mysterious animal behavior. Running frantically, rushing back to the safety of their home, and eating their own tails. People have recorded some of the strangest animal behavior during the eclipse. In a zoo, giraffes were seen galloping around the field. The guy who recorded them said it was like they'd sensed some danger and were trying to get away from it.
When they started to play, they started to run around. There was a lot of activity going on, and at the same time, they weren't alone. There was this overcome emotionally like I was. It was just an amazing experience. What a day.
Another man from a poultry farm also noticed that his chickens were becoming more and more restless as the time of the eclipse neared. Just when they noticed the day had started to become dark out of nowhere, they rushed back to their coops and stayed together. They probably thought the night had arrived early. Out of all the bizarre happenings now, this snake took the cake. The man who was keeping it checked on it and realized that the snake had started eating itself. When he tried to pull its body out of its own mouth, it regurgitated more than half its body from the tail side.
This poor king snake is actually in the process of swallowing his own tail.
What's up with these animals and the eclipse? Although there's been no proven relation between the two, scientists are still studying such cases from all over the world. Sky portal. An apparent portal opened to the sky, with a saucer-shaped object flying nearby. This eerie sight was recorded back in September 2023 by a guy chilling in his house when he noticed something glowing out of his window. Going in for a closer look, he found this creepy scene unfolding. And then, with a series of flashes, the portal disappeared. In utter disbelief, he posted the video online asking the internet folks for help. And it's been a frenzy of wild theories, with some saying it was surely an alien emerging through the portal. However, skeptics had other ideas, saying the clip might be a hoax, leaving it a mystery. Two moons? Looking out your window at night, you would expect to see the moon, right? But what about we make it two? Yeah, a guy actually managed to capture 2 moons. How is this possible? I mean, our planet only has 1 moon. Where did the other one come from? Many people thought it was probably a reflection in the window's glass, but the guy who recorded the video was sure he saw 2 moons in the sky. If these 2 moons didn't shock you though, the next one will definitely leave you scratching your head. Looking like a scene from a scary movie, this guy captured 2 bright full moons emerging from the clouds, followed by a third one.
Oh my God.
Even though it was shared several times on the internet, these extra moons have remained a mystery, as no expert has said a word about them. Moving lights.
No.
Taking a walk downtown in a region that has a long history of unexplained extraterrestrial activity, you never know what might go down. Have a look at what this guy captured in the night sky. Behind a huge clump of clouds, he noticed a set of strange bright lights moving from side to side. Before you think these were just spotlights, this guy recording the clip was sure there was a huge object present behind the cloud that his camera was unable to capture. He tried to adjust the focus, but failed to get the object on tape. Was this some new technology from our extremely intelligent outer space neighbors? Or was this clip just a well-crafted hoax? Let me know what you think of this clip in the comments. Another sky. We've all heard theories about other dimensions existing right beside us, but what seemed too far off in the past seems to become today's reality. This clip, recorded in Kazakhstan a few months ago, has been going around online, featuring an odd cluster of lights gracing the sky. The short footage was enough to make people think it was the sky from the other dimension peeking into our realm. But skeptics argued it was the lit path of a nearby ski resort. But then, why was only that portion exceptionally lit? Sky serpent. The next clip on the list was quite the sight for a Chinese town local, when they noticed a long snake-like figure slithering through the sky. Folklore believers were quick to point out its resemblance to Chinese dragons. The dragon was flying upward and then vanished into the clouds. Onlookers were left screaming in the background, which showed the clip was obviously not a hoax. Yet many questioned why the dragon flew up. Skeptics still argued the footage was edited, but then how did everyone on the scene seem so surprised? Was the dragon real and entered a portal to another realm? Where do you think this mythical creature might have gone? Let me know down in the comments. Devil cloud. This huge crimson-hued cloud was seen by many floating over a Brazilian city. Locals were baffled to see the sky. Many thought it looked like a fist, raising speculations about it being the hand of some unknown celestial entity. And the cloud became viral as the hand of the devil due to its raging red color and its fist form piercing through the sky. Internet folks believed it could be some special cloud formation, but what gave it the unusual hue was the real mystery. Rainbow night sky.
What the is that?
When a woman came home from work at night, the sight that greeted her was nothing short of baffling. She noticed a long line of light streaking across the sky, just like a dark version of a rainbow. With no explanation for the strange sight, she asked the internet for help. And that started a long trail of speculation. Some thought the colorful beam belonged to some alien spacecraft, while others suggested it could just be some new kind of firework. But fireworks don't streak the sky like that, or for so long, so that was pretty unlikely.
And I noticed this up in the sky. I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing like that. No rainbow, nothing like that in the sky at night.
Eclipse fire. The recent solar eclipse was a lot more than just midnight dark in the middle of the day. Have a look at what a man captured on his farm during the eclipse. One of the trees unexpectedly caught on fire and seemed to be shooting electricity. Was it just a coincidence? Or did the great celestial event have anything to do with this? If you also noticed any strange activity during the eclipse, be sure to share it in the comments. metal detector. All these people with their metal detectors in their hands and pointing them to the sky? Are they performing some kind of modern ritual that I don't know about? Well, all this strange activity is becoming too much to keep up with. The clip was believed to be recorded during the eclipse, and all those detectors were beeping, meaning there was metal in the air. Also, how much was there that all the devices were beeping aggressively? Some people were skeptical of the clip, saying these people might be pulling a prank just to fool the internet. However, no one was sure what was really going on there. Crow swarm. On their way home from work, residents of Texas found themselves in a very dark situation. Quite literally, an entire city's worth of crows suddenly ended up on the road, sitting in the middle of the road, on cars' roofs, and flying around. They were everywhere. Traffic was blocked with a whole flock sitting in the middle of the road. Lately, such incidents are becoming more and more prevalent, and no one seems to know why these birds behave this way. One of the theories states that they get lost while flying in a group, while some people believe it's a sign of an impending catastrophe. But no one can say for sure the true reason behind this. Sky portal. This clip posted online has sent the internet into a spin. A group of locals witnessed this oddity in the sky, emitting purple-pink glow, flashing in the dark sky. Honestly, it looked very similar to a portal being opened in the sky. What made the clip even more popular was that it was posted by a highly respectable UFO journalist, Jamie Mouson, the guy who researched the alien skeletons found in Peru. Netizens thought the guy was probably telling the truth, as his alien skeletons analysis created quite the buzz online. But the portal clip, just like the alien remains, are met with a load of skepticism as well. Unexpected crash. On a peaceful trip to the city's outskirts, this guy captured the most strange sight of all. One moment, a huge cylindrical-shaped object appeared in the sky, and the next, it looked like it was descending, and it sure did. The giant object crashed in the middle of the hills and caused a big blast. The internet went crazy over the clip, trying to figure out what that crashing thing was. Some said it was a satellite or just some space debris. Others had ideas about it being an object from another dimension, out in our atmosphere, spying on us. And it met an unfortunate end. Rainbow ring. If you've wondered what the other side of a rainbow looks like, well, then have a look at this footage recorded from a helicopter. These guys on the plane were lucky enough to find a rainbow in the sky, so they seized the opportunity and caught the remarkable sight for everyone to see. So, turns out rainbows aren't actually half. They are this complete circle of 7 colors in the sky, but we only see half of it. What an incredible sight! Red sky. Back in May 2022, residents of Fuzhou, China were surprised to see the night sky turn a deep crimson. People observed the red sky mystery from their homes, balconies, and the streets, questioning what might have caused it. Some folks thought the red hue in the sky was due to an unknown alien activity. Other superstitious people decided to stay home to keep away from the eerie sky. When the brightest red was seen near the port, many people thought it could be due to some fishing boat. However, the truth remained unknown. And this wasn't the only time this red hue in the sky appeared. The same phenomenon was witnessed by many Brazilian residents back in 2016. When the sky turned a striking red color, it left people amazed and puzzled. When the video was posted online, many questioned if it was even real or edited. When the clip was proven to be real, people were left confused about what could have caused such a rare sight. Flaming sky. Residents of a Russian city were treated to a very unexpected sight in their sky. A strange buzz appeared with a ton of smoke exhausting out of its 2 sides. You might think it's some flying object with a heavy exhaust system, but as you see, it looked more like a flash of electricity intensifying. Scared for their lives, the residents stayed away from going outside, as they had never seen anything like that before. Local speculation said it was a huge spaceship venturing in the middle of the day, and it seemed the most plausible one, as Russia is pretty famous for mysterious alien activity. Gliding snake. As we all know, snakes exist in pretty much all shapes and sizes, slithering quietly. But what if I told you there's a species of these serpents that likes to glide through the air, literally jumping from the ground? And all that without any limbs and a very thin body. Did you just see it propel itself from the ground? Can you imagine encountering this? Although they are only mildly venomous, only working for their small prey, their jump is still very scary. I know I would jump out of there before it ever gets a chance to jump on me. Smoke ring. You might have seen people smoking rings, but have you ever seen a mountain smoke rings before? Well, this peak named Mount Etna in Sicily, Italy, does so. It's been showing off a special trick every now and again, releasing rare volcanic vortex rings. These rings are like giant smoke circles that form when gases shoot up fast through the volcano's center. What's cool is that Mount Etna makes more of these rings than any other volcano in the whole world. It's a natural spectacle that scientists and locals alike can't get enough of watching. Now you know where to go to see some legal smoke rings. Glitch in the Matrix. Recorded in China on April 9th, 2024. This clip has left the internet with a load of questions. Apparently, locals of this town woke to this giant thing hanging in the sky. It might look like a huge cloud to you with no soft edges and that bright glow rimming around it. Could this be a spaceship-shaped cloud that creatures from another world were projecting on our sky, like many people on the internet suggested? Or did the locals just catch a glimpse of a glitch in the Matrix that day? The mystery has persisted to this day. Scary hit.
Wow, Karen, did you see that? Something hit the moon.
A few days before the recent eclipse, a man was filming the serene views of the moon in the night sky when his camera captured a very unusual sight. From a distance, he noticed an object coming toward the moon at a very high speed, and then it suddenly hit the moon, creating a huge impact. He believed it was an out-of-control rocket. When the clip landed online, everyone had something to say about the strange incident. Some thought it was an alien ship landing on the moon to analyze it. Others wanted the authorities to confirm if the clip was actually real. However, this wasn't the only clip of something crashing into the moon. Here's another similar incident. In broad daylight, an object moving toward the moon suddenly hit it, just like the last video. But this time, the impact was pretty huge. It sent shockwaves across the sky. Netizens thought the clip was computer-generated. If these crashes are real, that's pretty terrifying. But let me know what you think of these clips down in the comments. Door to heaven. Realms other than ours and mind-bending dimensions are just some of the things that have captivated the human mind for centuries. And when a guy recorded this clip during his road trip, the internet went crazy thinking that these theories might be more than just that. The sky was sporting two huge clouds with a portal seemingly open in the middle, surrounded by an orange glow with two spots in its center. Religious folks thought this was the doorway to heaven. They even noticed something moving in there. Others suggested it could be a time-defying portal that can lead to multi-dimensions. With only a few witnesses, the bizarre sky phenomenon was left unidentified. Mysterious red dot.
It's a drone.
We saw some strange stuff happening during the solar eclipse. Now, let's have a look at what this group of friends recorded during that terrifying eclipse. A bizarre red glowing object in the middle of the sky, shooting beams of red light above and below it. Thinking it could be a laser, they soon realized there were no residents anywhere near the area. And to make it even more creepy, the light just disappeared like it was never there. So much for an eclipse sighting. Dark apparition. This dark thing appeared over a field and left the onlookers shocked. It looked like the sky was pouring evil on the ground, with strange dark smoke descending down from the sky. It had gathered quite the audience around, and everyone tried to figure out what they were looking at. Many viewers thought it was something launched into the sky by someone. Numerous rumors about it being an arrival of an evil entity also spread online, but no one had any idea what it really was. Argentina Comet. Locals came out of their houses in Argentina when news about this strange object soaring through the sky spread throughout the region. It was a huge ball-like object shining bright against the dark sky, and with that red-hued trail behind it, it made it look like a shooting star. This time around, experts were quick to point out it was actually a comet passing by our planet and giving this incredible sight. And this comet in particular flared green as it had a specific kind of carbon molecule. Sky figure. People walking down a road experienced an unforgettable moment when a figure appeared out of thin air in the sky. Everyone looked up to see the radiant winged figure in the sky glowing with an otherworldly light. The whole town was mesmerized, unable to look away from the majestic and angelic presence. Rumors of a divine presence spread rapidly, sparking excitement and speculations. Some even believed it was Jesus' return. But as the figure disappeared, the truth behind the sighting remained a mystery. Flying jellyfish. It's like the sky has become a canvas for all the weird things the universe has to show. Captured in broad daylight, it looked like a jellyfish soaring through the sky. Its shell moves like wings and tentacles floating away. The guy who recorded the clip was stumped upon seeing the odd creature. Finding something he's never seen before, he quickly posted the clip online, sparking a plethora of theories, with some saying it could be an advanced form of alien technology, while others thought of a hybrid flying marine creature, but with no confirmation from experts, the strange creature remained unidentified. Divine presence. A family's trip on a cruise ship was interrupted by this strange sighting. In the distance, they noticed this humanoid figure hovering over the ocean. With a halo of clouds over its head, they noticed that the figure was ascending to the sky. The sighting started speculations that it was a divine presence looking over them. Some folks even said it was one of the underwater mythical creatures. Could that thing really be an otherworldly creature teleporting through a portal in the sky? Or was it all just an elaborate prank? Let me know what you think down below. Flying figure. Locals of a Chinese town were in for a surprise when they noticed something huge flying over a residential area. Everyone who saw the flying anomaly had their guesses. Some said it was some unknown creature out to hunt the locals. However, skeptics thought it might just be a giant balloon. The authorities were called to take a look at it, and they successfully caught it, and thankfully, it wasn't any creature. It was actually a huge black plastic bag. To have some perspective, have a look at the height difference between the bag and the officer. But who put this giant of a bag out there is still an unanswered question. Mysterious sky object.
Did you see it? A mysterious object seen in the western Oklahoma City sky.
A viral video captured over the city of Oklahoma has stumped everyone. A mysterious white object was seen by many flying over the residential area. A few seconds in the air, it seemed to be exhausting a gust of white cloud.
That's a shooting star.
No, it's moving too slow for a shooting star. Look, it's separating from itself.
People who saw the slow-moving object in the sky had their own opinion. A lot of them had ideas that it could be related to recent SpaceX launches, but none of them added up with the time of the sighting. Some even suggested it could be a secret military operation, but the true nature of the object remains unknown, keeping everyone curious about the sky's secrets. Cloudy object. An airplane passenger traveling across Japan witnessed a very bizarre sight out of his window. Looking out, he noticed an odd-looking object floating among the white clouds. The thing looked like some kind of flying vehicle, but a really small one. What would it hold inside? Alien enthusiasts jumped at the opportunity and suggested it was a spaceship carrying grays. Skeptics believed it could just be a tall tower's tip touching the sky. Well, how about you guys tell me what you think it is? Mysterious object. This bizarre thing was captured zipping through the sky, glowing with a bright orange light. It was all light with no visible structure in sight. The object disintegrated into two and disappeared within a few seconds, but another glowing dot had already appeared. Claimed by many that it was an extraterrestrial flying object, the sight was actually a complete mystery. Even local experts were stumped as to how this thing was flying with no exhaust system, which led to the theories of an obvious alien craft. Blue glow.
Yeah, no idea.
Out on his rooftop for stargazing, this guy saw something a bit more than just stars. In the distance, a strange blue glow appeared in his view. Thinking it was just some flying toy, he didn't think much of it. But soon, many people around the neighborhood witnessed the same glowing object, and no one knew what they were looking at. Many even saw the light flash on and off. Extraterrestrial, a skycraft, or just a prank. The possibilities are endless for such unidentified flying objects. Although it remained unidentified, the sight sure left the neighborhood scared about such objects.
You're gonna see this thing in the sky. We don't know what it is.
Mysterious dance. This sight might look like the arrival of an evil entity, but the truth behind this sight is something far more different. These swaying black waves are actually a flying flock of starling birds. Thousands of starlings create these breathtaking patterns in the sky, forming a mesmerizing aerial ballet known as a murmuration. The name murmuration came from the sound of these birds' wings beating in unison, creating a murmuring effect. However, the reason for murmurations remains a mystery, believed to serve protection to the young ones from ruthless predators and keeping warm at night. These starlings go through complex coordination and give this one-of-a-kind sight. Red glow.
A mysterious red glow captured by a pilot flying over the Pacific Ocean has sent the internet into a spin.
A pilot flying over the Pacific Ocean captured a mysterious red glow that sparked a frenzy of speculation online. Some viewers suggested it was evidence of alien activity underwater, while others gave theories like a volcanic eruption. The clip gained even more attention due to its resemblance to the TV show Stranger Things. But soon, all these wild claims were debunked when a global fishing expert came forward, revealing the red glow was actually from a commercial fishing boat using bright red LED lights to attract fish like mackerel. So, nothing alien or other dimensional for now.
What were those red things?
They were commercial fishing vessels that were fishing for Pacific Sari using very bright red arrays of LED lights.
Floating clouds. Every kid has wanted to reach up and scoop up some clouds, right? Well, the thought doesn't seem too far-fetched now, does it? It looks like this guy has gotten a bunch of them. Fluffy, light, and fuzzy, floating around on the ground. Were these clouds actually real? I mean, the guy was picking them up pretty easily. People thought they were from a nearby chemical plant's waste. I don't know, I'd still want to play with them a little, at least before the danger settles in. Midnight glow. Driving by a dark forest road, this guy encountered something unexpected in the distance. Something bright emerged at a distance. As he kept driving, that bright object came closer and passed by the car. It turned out to have 3 headlights. The scared driver was just thankful the huge object didn't hit his car and disappeared right above it. Many people thought it could be a spy craft descending from the sky. Others entertained the idea of an alien ship that was about to abduct the guy. But no one knew for sure what that huge 3-headlighted object was. Falling snake. Going to the market turned into a nightmare for these Brazilian residents when they spotted a giant snake in the middle of the sky. Was it floating in the sky? The bizarre scene gathered a lot of onlookers with their cameras in hand recording. Turns out that huge snake had been hanging on the wires, and wasn't visible in the darkness of the night. And to make matters worse, the serpent slowly fell down the wires to the ground, causing even more chaos. Eventually, it was caught and taken to a safer place, with no one getting injured in the process. Aerial sighting.
Holy! They're coming for you, Tony. For me. What the is that?
Residents of a Florida apartment building were stunned by a strange sighting in the sky.
No, wait. Ooh!
A massive object moved above the clouds, its size apparent from its bright headlights. Families were scared and confused as they watched this silent spectacle, initially thinking it might be a helicopter. However, because it made no noise, the helicopter theory was quickly dismissed. Witnesses were convinced that whatever they saw was beyond earthly explanations. Open discussion. Seeing something this divine early in the morning is bound to start your day off on a good note. But is seeing an apparition that looks remarkably similar to Jesus Christ really a sign of good luck? What if it signifies something far more sinister? If you've been keeping up with the news, things around the world have taken a surprising turn. We're seeing more and more signs of devastation, like rivers drying up and other prophecies coming true. Well, that suggests seeing Jesus isn't that good a sign, more like a warning. Knowing how things could turn out, it's best if we start believing the world is really changing in unexpected and unimaginable ways. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.